Well, a Ferrari. Well, I would like a real one, but so it all starts off with reselling. Now, as a beginner, you start off with a product, something like this you find at a thrift store or at a garage sale, and you try to turn that into money so you can get started and so you can make money on the side. So when I first started this reselling, I went to a garage sale and I bought something and it sold for about, I think, $250 or $300. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. And the reason I started this channel is because I wanted to help. And this camera's so shaky right now. There we go. So I really wanted to start out and I wanted to help people online. And when I first started out, I didn't have anybody out there to help me along the way. So I want to go back to the basics, back to the beginning, things that you should get, things that you need, things that can help you along the way. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the things that I use, some of the things that I bought, and some tips that you can use for yourself going forward. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Peter. I'm the Real Toronto Picker. I have started this resale journey about, I'm gonna say 3 years ago, before all this COVID stuff. And I started doing this and I'm a part-time reseller. What I do is every Thursday I give my tips and tricks on what I've learned over time, what to look for. Now I am a part-time reseller. Eventually I will go full-time. I like my job. I like doing this, but at some point I'm gonna have to do this full-time. So I want to give some tips and tricks on what you should do or what you should be kind of getting. Now, this is what I use. You can use the same thing. You don't have to get all this stuff from the same place. Some of my stuff I get from Amazon and some stuff I get from the dollar store, local dollar store. So I am from Canada, and the stuff that you will find in Canada may be different than what you find in the US or in different countries. Okay, so in Europe or wherever you're from. Now, things that I use a lot are these Canada Post slips. They're really good for when you're packing your packing slips and you don't want them to get damaged and you don't have to put tape all over them. You can get these for free from Canada Post. If you start a small business account, you just order these online and they're free. Okay, and what you do is you take your label, you stick it inside. I got all these on Amazon. These packing, right? They're not bubble mailers, they're just mailers, regular mailers, and then I just put bubble wrap around them. I got a whole stack of them, and it's good for packing shirts and other things like video games that you can wrap up, and they're pretty cheap. Another thing I get is these elastic bands. Elastic bands are really good because at the end of the day, when you're wrapping up your cords to put in your box, you want to make sure it looks neat. Okay. Another thing I get is I go to in Canada there's a store called Dollar Tree, and I'm sure you can get these online on Amazon or eBay. These fragile stickers, I find they're really well when you're shipping something that's fragile that you don't want to damage. And I find that getting these and sticking them on them helps a little bit with your customer service. Now, I want to talk about stickers. So let's say you buy something at Savers, Value Village, Goodwill, and it's got this annoying sticker on it. So I bought this VCR DVD Toshiba, as you can see here, and we got a sticker here, and it's $9.99 is what I paid for. And you want to get it off and you don't know how. Well, you could just scrape it off. When it comes to stuff like this that's metal, pretty easy to come off. But when you got stuff like on a box, like something like this on a box, you want to be very careful, or on a game, you don't want to damage it. So what you do is I use something called Goo Gone. Now, Goo Gone you can get from a lot of places: Home Depot, Rona, Lowe's, Walmart, a lot of grocery stores. But this one here is the spray bottle. They also have bottles that you just pour on top. I like the spray bottle, but I don't spray right on directly onto the surface, especially if it's cardboard and something I don't want to get damaged. What I use is a Q-tip. So what you do is you spray the Q-tip like so, and then you go over the label with the Q-tip. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over the label with the Q-tip and you let it sit. And by doing that, okay, and you do that a couple of times, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then eventually the sticker will just come right off. Okay, so that's a really good tip. You do that over and over. There's little scrapers you can buy as well. They'll scrape that right off. You can use your nail, or you can use a little X-Acto knife and slowly take it off. Something like this that's metal, this Toshiba here, VCR DVD combo, you don't really need to put the Goo Gone on it. I just did it as an example. Okay, so back to the basics. I want to give a little bit of advice. So I bought this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I'm not even sure on the timeline. It is a colored monitor. Okay, it's got HDMI, and believe me, I'm not a sponsor of this. They didn't put me up to sponsor this or anything. It comes with HDMI, it comes with RCA and a power and a little remote. And what it is, it's a 7-inch HD monitor. And the reason I mention this is because you go to a Value Village, you go to a Savers, you go anywhere like that, and you want to test, let's say, a PlayStation or Xbox 360 that you want to buy, or even let's say you find a PlayStation 4. And nowadays with Value Village and here in Canada, Value Village does no exchanges, sold as is. So before you buy it, you want to make sure that it works. So what I did was I bought this LCD monitor, and this LCD monitor comes with HDMI and power, and I take this to the Salvation Army or Value Village in my case, and I plug it in with the PlayStation or electronic, and I test it first. Bring yourself a disc, put the disc in, and then use that little LCD monitor to test the system to make sure it works. Because again, if there's no exchanges, you're buying something that's, especially Xboxes. I find Xboxes 360s, a lot of them are brick, unless you get the red ring of death. And unless you want to go out and fix that, you buy 4 of them, you're stuck fixing all 4. It's a lot of work for me. Some people will do it because they have the time. I just don't have the time or the patience at this point. Maybe down the line. But especially buying stuff that's no exchange, now you're kind of stuck with it. So what I do is I test it first. I bring a disc and that little LCD monitor. And if you're interested in the monitor, I'll put the link down below on where I got it from. I got it on Amazon. If you click on it, it'll take you over there. You purchase it. I think it was like $72 or $70. Again, they didn't sponsor me on this at all. I just found it. It's worked pretty well. Your power's on. It's a little monitor. You check to see if it's working. You put a disc in. If it's working, then you buy it. If it doesn't work, then you leave it. It saves you the money and the aggravation. Okay? Tape's a good idea to have. That's another good product. I buy my tape on Amazon. eBay also has, if you start a small business account with eBay, you'll get a discount or a voucher on stuff, and you can use that to buy tape as well. Okay, so I wanted to make this video to go back to what the basics were on reselling as a beginner. So you're a beginner, and it can be super frustrating, right? Especially as a beginner, because you have, let's say, 10 or 15 items that you can only sell. But don't give up. Just keep going and keep selling little items. And for me, when I first started, making a $5 profit wasn't not worth it to me, but it is at the beginning, because if you can find those big products, that's great, right? But as a beginner, start off with little profit, like $10 or $15, and then work your way up, right? So that you get kind of like reviews, and then eBay doesn't see you as like kind of like a scammer, because eBay, you know, there could be a lot of scams on there. So if the more sales you make, the more eBay will say, hey, this person is a true seller. And you'll be like me. Like when I first started, I could only sell like 10, 15 items. But believe it or not, if you start making consistent sales, that will move so quickly. I went from only 10, 15 items to 100 items to 200 items to 250 items. And then they weren't holding my money no more. So keep in mind, sometimes I still get a hold on money, but not because my account is locked, because they're trying to protect me. Like last week, I had a buyer who bought something and they held their money because maybe that was the first time they purchased something on eBay. So they held their money to make sure that I don't get scammed, right? So eBay is there to help you. Like a lot of people talk bad about eBay, but I find it really good. I like I said, I sold on Amazon for a while and I wasn't making enough money, and I went over to eBay, and eBay has been great. Their customer service has been great. Some things eBay, obviously their customer service, they can't correct. Like there was that huge issue where it wouldn't show the shipping. And I'm sure, I don't know if I showed you how to correct that. I think I did show you how to correct that on a video. I did do it on TikTok as well, where I showed you how to correct that issue where it would show no price on your shipping. So what you would do is, and I made a video about that, what you would do is you'd go in, you'd put in a different weight, like 2 pounds, and go back in and save that. And then when you go back in and put 1 pound, it would kind of correct that issue. So make sure you check all your listings. All of your listings to make sure that the shipping is there. Put in a postal code and put in a zip code and make sure that it actually works. Okay, listing an item. What should you look for? Back to basics. Start off something small. I like video games. Video games do really well. And get yourself some kind of a form of light box so you can take really good pictures. Like a photo box. I say light box, but a photo box. And you can make it pretty simple with a cardboard box. There's a lot of videos out there, but if you want me to make a video on how to do it, just comment down below. I can definitely do that. I made one out of a Home Depot box to cut the sides out. And I bought a couple of lights from Walmart. And I put them on the side, some paper on the inside, like some Bristol board white, and that's where I take my pictures from. I'm sure eventually, once I start doing like a lot of photos and becoming full-time, I'll have to move up to something more industrial. But at this point, you got to keep it simple. Wherever you can save money to make money, that's the most important thing. Making money is the most important thing at this point. Okay. And here's another thing I bought. It's a LCD screen that I use to take to the thrift stores. I kept the sticker still on. I've had it for about a couple of weeks now. And what I do is I carry a backpack and I take this with me to thrift stores. It comes with an HDMI power. It also comes with a VGA. You plug it into your, I guess, you can plug it into a computer if you have VGA or HDMI. And it also comes with an AV cable, so RCA for testing like VCRs and stuff. So important to test things. You don't want to get burned at like thrift stores that have no exchanges, especially in Canada. There's no exchanges, so last thing I want to do is get burned. So I did buy this LCD monitor. Again, there's a link down below on where to buy it. It's just a basic Amazon one. You can get it for about $70 or $80. So I know, and another thing, I know people find it harder and harder to find things at thrift stores because at the end of the day, it seems like there's a lot of resellers out there. But you don't have to go for everything everybody else does. You gotta sometimes step out of your comfort zone and get things that other people, I guess, are not looking for. So I know it's easy to go for the video games. Now, some of my thrift stores, there's a lot of regulars there, and what they do is they hang out there And there's one on in my area where they hang out at like, I think it's 8 o'clock in the morning. And I do have a full-time job. I am a part-time reseller. Now, on my vacation, I got there one time or two times around, I guess, 8 o'clock, and they're just hanging out there. So if you're full-time, or this is what you do full-time, and you're young and you want to go out there, I suggest you get out there really early and, you know, strategize. Like, make yourself, you know, what you should be looking for. Like, write down, okay, this is what I want to look for. What should I find? And then just scan everything. Especially if you're new, just take your cell phone and scan everything. Scan it and see if it's sold. Don't just scan it and say, oh my God, this is $300. There's many times I've done that where it was like $1,000 item, and then I look and there's only one item, mine and that person's. And then it hasn't sold, and that person's had that for months and months. So scan everything and then go there and say, okay, well, I scanned this, go to the sold listings and then see how much it sold for and how many of them sold, right? And go through that. And don't go for a $5 profit. I know there's a lot of people out there, especially on TikTok and YouTube, where they go out and they're like, oh, I bought this for $5 and I'm gonna make 15. Okay, so you're making $10. Take away your eBay fees, which is 10%. Then take away your PayPal fees, and now you've made $2. And then you get burned on shipping because you didn't put in the right shipping, and now you've lost money. Is it worth it to you? So as a beginner, I'd say make at least $20 to $30 profit. Figure that out, how it's going to be to make $20 to $30 profit. If I buy that VCR and I've tested it and it works for $9 and it sells for $160, last one sold for $160 or $150, well, you're new, you want to make sales, you bought it for $10, put it for $130. $120 profit, $100 profit, take away all your fees, maybe $100 profit with shipping and everything. But $100 profit is better than $5 profit, $2 profit, or you lose money. Okay? So when it comes to stuff like that, you got to make sure that you scan everything and look at the sold listings. So that's the advice I can give you. So for this week, we're going to keep the video short, I guess, as short as it can be. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here and you want to consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, hit that subscribe button. If the subscribe button is red, that means you haven't subscribed. Subscribe, like, hit that notification bell. I do make a video every Thursday, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.